If a girl makes you put on a condom before bending over, don't feel special. You're just another delusion in her grandiose drunken vision that the machines haven't taken over. Women love cock, not latex. In no other words, you're simply a douchebag who doesn't know any better and is just thankful to be thrown a bone once every couple months. You're a tool, literally. Douchebags practice safe sex because they have no other option, other than rape. Guys who flaunt Magnum brand condoms wear them more for compensation than prevention, in the same way their keys fit a Porsche 911 instead of a Dodge Diplomat. I drove the 1985 model, sprayed shit brown, just like Al Bundy. Then I got a Porsche, but I was only compensating for the speed. Our desire to share fluids with another is fundamental upon mutual attraction, but a big problem with most Americans today is the lack thereof just that, attraction. Honestly, the reason why so many people are getting laid out here today is out of basic necessity. Everybody needs to get off. Men, for the most part, are no more than glorified pieces of utility that exist for specific purposes. Helping a woman reach climax being one of them. Moving furniture, another, and vice versa. Women, for instance, play an integral part in the feeding of men's massive egos, and if domesticated properly, massive stomachs as well. With that being said, along with the universal understanding that men are from Earth and women are from what the fuck, the divide begins to form, letting me tell 90% of the men in this country what they don't want to hear. The truth. Women, unlike men, possess an innate character trait which feeds from our societal stigma and plays out into the bedroom that says to the world that even though I'm bent over like a dog with udders, you ain't taking my self-respect. Guys don't typically pride themselves on this, hence the universal divide. The majority of the knuckle-draggers in this country sow her oats in latex rather than in the pure, raw, animalistic fashion that our Creator intended them to do. And why should they when women can achieve the same conclusion with protection? As much as guys want to think they do when it comes to calling the shots, they don't. Except in rape. So whenever you pride yourself on using a condom, think about what you're saying versus what you'd really like, then admit the truth. You're just doing what you're told. Stupid piece of utility. No girl wants a shriveled up, two-toned, misrepresented tool to add to the unnecessary stress, worry, and HPV which follows getting hit raw to an act which can achieve the same results with something covering you and ribbed for her pleasure as a bonus. Since it's never been ribbed for my pleasure, I prefer to perform au naturel. How is it that I'm able to do this? For one, and I'll admit, it's a big one, I look good. Really good. Now stop before you react. I know as Americans it's hard for us to hear something like that and not take it the wrong way. The psychiatrist label way, the narcissistic judgmental way, the human way. Which I completely understand and sympathize with you for. People are no more than a product of the environment which surrounds them. That being said, as Americans we are surrounded with ugly, obese, hatchet-faced, closed-minded, reality TV watching people. It's only natural that the buzzword of this millennium would be one that puts a negative connotation on any person who's happy and proud about the way they look. Simply because nobody is proud of being overweight. Now I'll add more weight to your frown by also saying that it's not easy looking the way I do. That's not a joke. Do you think I like washing down my paleo diet with kale shakes and whatever else Jack LaLanne can extract from me? Of course not. I juiced a freaking eggplant this morning. Do you know anybody who has ever bragged about drinking an eggplant? I'm human and have wants, needs, and desires just like everyone else. But instead of filling my basic primal opiates fuel with Big Macs and Frappuccinos, I choose to satisfy my need to release by abstaining from normality and indulging in originality. Eggplants are juicy, and looking good naked is easy. And this is coming from a guy who hasn't even read the book. Never had the time. I'm too busy fucking with the lights on without a condom. Life's easier that way. And number two, well, actually there is no number two. This is America, remember? Looks will always overwhelm personality. And anyone who says otherwise lacks both. That's a shame. So, it looks like this was all for nothing. Because truthfully, the only real key, answer, or code to a beautiful life with wonderful girls that want to be your wife is to in fact be beautiful yourself. Which unfortunately is much easier said than done. And the Big Mac has too big of a hold on our society for it to be heard with open ears. They're too clogged up with special sauce. If this wasn't true, then everybody and their mother, and some with their mother, would be having great sex by simply taking my advice and juicing an eggplant. But every time, it never fails, after I talk, people always want to ask some sort of modified version of the same question. What do I do with the Parmesan? What do I do with the Parmesan?